Mucha gente quieren hablar con fluidez en inglés, pero se sienten frustradas cuando descubren que el inglés real no es lo mismo que el inglés del libro de texto. Sin embargo, una manera muy rápida de hablar más como un nativo en inglés es aprender los verbos frasales más comunes. En este video voy a enseñarte 10 verbos frasales muy comunes que usamos todos los días. Voy a enseñarte casi totalmente en inglés, pero no te preocupes porque voy a hablar muy lento y muy claro. ¿Listos? All right, let's get started. Number 1, sit down. This means to move from a standing position to a seated position. I'll show you. Standing up and I sit down. So your teacher might say, please sit down so we can begin our English lesson. Or I could say, I got tired of standing, so I sat down. Okay, number 2, find out. Find out means to discover or to learn something new. For example, today I found out the average person walks the equivalent of 3 times the circumference of the earth in their lifetime. That's a lot of walking. And here's another example. She is trying to find out if he likes her. Find out can also have a sort of reflexive verb meaning. For example, the murderer knew that he had been found out when the detectives asked him why his fingerprints and his DNA were found at the crime scene. Number 3, get up. Now, get up means to move from a resting position, either sitting or lying down, and to move to a standing position. Like that, I just got up. For example, when he is studying, he likes to get up every 30 minutes to take a break or to walk around. We also often use get up to refer to getting out of bed in the morning. So for example, you could say, it's really difficult for me to get up early in the morning. It is, it's very difficult. All right, number 4, give up. Now, give up means to surrender or to lose hope or to stop trying. For example, I'm not very good at Sudoku, so I usually give up after about 10 minutes. And a second meaning, give up can also mean quit, either a hobby or a habit. For example, he gave up smoking last year, and it has been over 1 year since he had a cigarette. Or it could be a hobby. For example, Janet had to give up skiing after she injured her knee. Number 5, go over. Go over has a few meanings, but they are all very related. Go over can mean rehearse. For example, when I make videos about English for you, I have to go over my lines a few times before I record them. Okay, and the second meaning for go over is to examine. For example, you should have your lawyer go over the contract before you sign it. Or when I buy furniture from IKEA, I have to go over the instructions a few times before I begin trying to assemble the furniture. And then I fail, and then I call someone else to do it. And apparently, the first Latin American IKEA is opening up this year in Mexico, in Guadalajara. So some of you hopefully will get to learn the joy and frustrations of IKEA. Number 6, make it. Make it can mean to be successful. For example, many people move to Los Angeles hoping to make it in Hollywood. And a sort of similar meaning, make it can also mean to survive. For example, I saw a bird with a broken leg and I was worried that he wasn't going to make it. And lastly, make it can also mean attend. For example, you could say, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to the party on Friday. Number 7, point out. So point out means to make other people look at something by showing them where it is or drawing attention to something specific. So you're pointing it out. For example, my mom always points out the owl in the tree when we walk by. You can also point out an idea or a concept or a fact. For example, Stacy is angry at John for arriving at the dinner late. But John points out that Stacy was late last time they had dinner. Number 8, set off. The first meaning for set off is to begin on a journey. For example, you could say the Titanic set off on its voyage across the Atlantic Ocean. Set off can also mean to initiate a sound or an explosion or an alarm. For example, when he pulled the trigger, he set off the gun. Here's another example. The bomb squad is very careful when they are removing an explosive device because they don't want to set off the bomb. And lastly, the thief was removing a painting from the wall in the museum and he set off the alarm. We also sometimes use set off in a metaphorical way to talk about making a person angry or making a person explode. For example, she avoids asking her supervisor a question because she doesn't want to set him off. Number 9, work out. So the first meaning of work out is to solve, as in solve a problem. For example, I was able to work out a solution to the parking problems by speaking to my neighbor. Or here's another example. It's easier to work out a math problem when you write it on paper. The third meaning for work out is to exercise. For example, he works out every day. Or I need to work out because I'm getting a little bit fat. All right, last one, number 10, turn up. Turn up means to arrive unexpectedly or be found unexpectedly. For example, I will be very surprised if her ex-boyfriend turns up at the party because he knows her friends disapprove of him. Here's another example. I can't find my car keys, but I'm sure they'll turn up if I clean the kitchen. And another meaning for turn up is to increase the sound or the temperature by adjusting a machine or a piece of equipment. For example, please turn up the volume on the TV because I can't hear what they're saying. Or you could say, I had to turn up the heat because I was getting cold. All right, that was number 10. Excellent job. Gracias por ver y veremos pronto. Bye.